you, Mr. Chair. Senator Gomes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to make a few comments, and I've listened to you, and I'm very sympathetic about your problems and so on and so forth. And some people may not believe this, but too big a story for you to invent. That's what I'm going to say to begin with. And the thing of it is, I believe in certain professions that people cover each other, and this might be one of them. And we're between a rock and a hard place. We don't want to discard everything that judges say because we look for them to do their job and professionally people that are not criminals or not doing something that's wrong to be protected. And it seems like sometimes, and this will happen in any profession, whether it be lawyers, it be judges, it be just somebody in business or whatever, people have this thing about covering themselves. When I was in the Army, I worked in administration, and I seen it there too. So what I'm saying is, I'm very sympathetic about what you're saying. I don't know what we're going to do about it because we'd like to look into this, and I have your thing here. But the thing with it is it puts us as lay people. I'm not a lawyer or anything. Even in my profession, I was an international rep for a union. I was an international union rep. But the thing with it is, in any profession, you'll find people, birds of a feather flock together and cover each other. And I'm just wondering if this is one of the things that we're talking about here. And if it is, it needs to stop somewhere. And that's all I have to say. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, because like I said, I don't want to bash judges either for no reason. But I think we're here to listen to what is happening to people. We don't want people coming before us and listen to their story and discard everything they're saying. So I just want you to know that.
If you look at this, there's no way you can discard it. It has her signature on
it.
Well,
you've said enough to make me interested. I'll tell you that.
As far as a solution, again, I'm a businesswoman. There has to be some oversight. When a grievance is filed, it has to be taken seriously. It's not. I mean, maybe it's the birds of the feather, but I filed grievances. I filed 3 of them to only have them returned. There's a 0%. Nobody that I know has filed a grievance and had any sort of action taken. So there really does have to be the laws I think are good. And sadly, you hear these things, but I don't think the problem's with the law. I think the problem is with the implementation of the law. And it's I don't know if it's a task force or a committee or somebody that can go in and say, we need to relook at that judgment. It's just not right. There's no way to do it. Appeals take 2 years and $20,000. When I had my first bad decision, I went to another family lawyer, and that's what she told me. She says it takes 2 years and $20,000 minimum. And she said, you're better off to file a motion for modification and try to change the bad order rather than go and try to prove the order is bad. That doesn't work. That's not what a mother whose children are growing. You don't have 2 years. I mean, a 9-year-old to an 11-year-old, you miss so much. Whatever age it is, 2 to 4, you don't have 2 years. So the system is not designed. It's designed for criminal cases. It's designed for a finding. It's not designed for a fluid situation where the kids are growing. And you know what? Sometimes the dad's unemployed. Sometimes the mom's unemployed. The things need to be able to change without it being 6 months or a year to figure it out. You go in, to change child support, it's now been almost 2 years for me to change my child support. It's a simple calculation. I'm an engineer. I could figure it out in a half an hour. Yet the judicial, I can't seem to get it changed in 2 years. And it's Title IV. It's federally mandated, and it's not being followed.
Whether these judges become reconfirmed or not and go back to their job or whatever, no matter what happens here, it is valuable for people like you to come forth and tell your story, to let people know that these things can happen. Yep. You could write a book if you could invent all the things that you've said and not be true. But the thing of it is, I believe that you did go through some real changes.
one of the points I wanted to make is, this is happening to my mother's daughter. This is happening to, it can happen to you people you know. It can happen to your kids. It can happen to your grandchildren. It can happen to your sisters. It can happen to anybody. It's sad that, Judge Adelman, I truly believe he does have an issue with women. To take, when we had an agreement that I would raise my children, to take my children away from me, take them out of Glastonbury and move them to Norwalk at the time. Why would someone do that? It is beyond me, but he has the power to do it. And Bozzuto follows it up. It's funny how they played off each other as if they were friends. And in hearing the testimony, it made me feel more strongly about coming forward, because there's so many consistencies in the inconsistency. So many of the same things are happening. You hear about wealthier people. You hear about disabilities. That's a pattern.
Well, I thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you. Any further questions from the committee members?